Most people think modern SUVs are ticking time bombs after 150,000 miles. But Scotty Kilmer says that's not true at all. Buried between the RIP thumbnails and 5-minute rants, he's actually pointed to a handful of SUVs that are almost impossible to kill. Today, we're counting down 10 SUVs Scotty genuinely trusts, including a few that aren't Toyotas. Stick around. At the end, I'll show you the only new SUVs he actually recommends in 2025. Number 10. Hyundai Santa Fe / Kia Sorento, 2016 to 2020, non-turbo. Scotty is brutally honest about Korean cars, but he's also changed his tune on a few of them, especially the newer Santa Fe and Sorento with the simple non-turbo 4-cylinders. He likes these because Hyundai and Kia finally stopped experimenting and started building straightforward drivetrains, backed by long warranties. No tiny turbo pushed to the edge. No complicated hybrid setup trying to juggle 3 power sources at once. What he points out is simple. If you buy one of these a few years old, you're letting the original owner eat most of the depreciation, while you still get a lot of factory warranty left. Change the oil on time and avoid the higher-strung engines, and these SUVs can run a long time without drama. They're not as bulletproof as a Toyota, but if you want a comfortable family hauler with solid value, this is one of the few Korean SUVs Scotty actually gives a cautious thumbs up. Number 9. Mazda CX-5, 2013 to 2016, non-turbo. Scotty has said for years that Mazda builds some of the best driver's cars in the affordable world, and the first-generation CX-5 is his go-to example for a compact SUV done right. No fragile CVT, no tiny turbo glued on later, just Mazda's naturally aspirated Sky-active engines, a conventional automatic, and a chassis that actually feels good to drive. He likes these because they mix reliability with handling. You're not giving up fun just because you bought a practical SUV. Owners regularly report 200,000 miles and beyond with little more than fluid changes and basic suspension work. And because the CX-5 never had the hype of a RAV4 or CR-V, used prices are still reasonable. Scotty also points out that Mazda didn't overload these early CX-5s with gimmicky electronics. Fewer screens, fewer modules, fewer weird failures at 10 years old. If you want an SUV that feels tighter and more engaging than the usual appliance, this is the one Scotty actually calls a smart long-term buy. Number 8. Honda CR-V, 2007 to 2011. Scotty doesn't love every Honda, but he's consistently praised the older CR-Vs, especially the 2007 to 2011 generation. Why? Because this was the last era before Honda started chasing tiny turbos and direct injection in everything. These CR-Vs use the classic K-Series 4-cylinder, one of Honda's most reliable engines, backed by a simple automatic transmission. He likes to point out that these will run forever if you keep up with basic fluids. They're not fast, they're not flashy, but they start every morning, sip fuel, and shrug off highway miles. It's not unusual to see these with 250 to 300,000 miles, still doing daily driver duty. What Scotty also likes is the practicality. Big cargo area, tall seating position, good visibility, but without the bloated size of newer crossovers. And because so many were sold, parts are everywhere and mechanics know them inside out. If you want a compact SUV that behaves like an old-school Honda, simple, efficient, and stubbornly long-lived, this generation of CR-V is exactly what Scotty tells people to hunt for. Number 7. Volvo XC90, 2003 to 2014, straight 6. Scotty is usually ruthless toward European cars, but the first-gen Volvo XC90 with the straight 6 engine is one of the rare exceptions he respects. The trick is getting the right powertrain. He warns people away from the more complicated V8s and some of the turbo 5-cylinders, but the inline 6? That's the one he calls a Swedish tank. These SUVs were built during the era when Volvo still put safety and durability ahead of giant touchscreens. The body structure is stout, the suspension is overbuilt, and the interiors hold up far better than you'd expect from a 20-year-old European SUV. Scotty likes that the electronics on these are simpler than what came later, which means fewer bizarre gremlins at high mileage. Maintained properly, it's common to see these hit 250 to 300,000 miles. And because most buyers are scared of European repair bills, the used prices stay low. You can pick up a well-kept XC90 for far less than a comparable Toyota. If you want an affordable, long-lasting SUV that isn't another Japanese appliance, this is one of the very few European models Scotty actually tells viewers to take a chance on. Number 6. Lexus RX 350, 2010 to 2015. Scotty has a soft spot for the Lexus RX because it's basically Toyota's reliability wrapped in a more comfortable body. The 2010 to 2015 RX 350 is the sweet spot he points to most often. Underneath the leather and quiet cabin, you're getting a simple, naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 and a conventional automatic transmission. The same basic hardware that's proven itself in countless Toyotas. He loves these because they give you luxury without the usual luxury headaches. He said many times that these RX models can go 250 or even 300,000 miles when maintained. And unlike German luxury SUVs, you don't need a specialist shop to keep them alive. Most Toyota mechanics know exactly what they're looking at. The electronics are also conservative by today's standards. Fewer fragile air suspensions, fewer overcomplicated infotainment systems, and fewer modules waiting to die. The interior materials age well, and the ride stays smooth even as the miles climb. If you want an SUV that feels upscale but lives like a Toyota, this generation of RX 350 is exactly the kind of rich person's Camry Scotty actually approves of. Number 5. Toyota RAV4, 2006 to 2012, non-CVT. When viewers ask Scotty for a simple, compact SUV that just works, he often points them to the older RAV4, especially the 2006 to 2012 models with the traditional automatic. These were built before Toyota started going heavy on CVTs and turbocharged engines. You get either a reliable 4-cylinder or a stout V6, both known for racking up serious mileage. Scotty likes these because they're the definition of boring in a good way. They start every day, handle bad weather, and haul kids, dogs, and home improvement runs without complaining. He's seen plenty of these roll past 250,000 miles with nothing more than basic maintenance and occasional suspension work. He also notes that this generation avoids a lot of the headaches that hit later models. Fewer transmission complaints, fewer electronic glitches, and simpler emission systems. Parts are cheap and everywhere, and almost every independent shop knows how to work on them. If you want a compact SUV that behaves like an old Corolla in crossover form, this era of RAV4 is exactly the type Scotty tells people to buy and then forget about for the next decade. From here on, the SUVs don't just last, they border the indestructible. If you're enjoying the video, subscribe and click the like button to show your support. Number 4. Toyota Highlander, 2008 to 2013. Scotty has recommended the Highlander for years, and the 2008 to 2013 models are the ones he singles out the most. They hit the sweet spot between old-school Toyota durability and the modern features families actually want. The star of the show is the 3.5-liter V6, one of Toyota's most reliable engines. Scotty's watched these motors quietly climb past 300,000 miles when owners keep up with oil changes. What he likes most is how uneventful these are to live with. No drama, no constant warning lights, no mystery feature that stops working after 10 winters. They start every day, handle rough weather, cruise quietly, and don't drown you in aging electronics. Scotty loves to say a good car is a boring car, and the Highlander nails that philosophy. They're also incredibly flexible. Daily commuter, kid hauler, road trip machine, light tow rig. It covers all of it without breaking a sweat. Because the Highlander shares so many parts with other Toyota models, repairs stay simple and affordable. This generation dodges the pitfalls that plagued many rivals. No fragile small turbos, no infamous transmissions, and far fewer electrical issues. That's why used prices hold strong. Owners know what they have, and they don't let them go easily. Number 3. Toyota Sequoia, 2001 to 2007. Scotty has a real soft spot for the first-generation Sequoia, and it's easy to see why. This SUV comes from the era when Toyota still built big vehicles like they built the old Land Cruisers. Thick metal, simple wiring, and drivetrains designed to take abuse for decades. The 4.7-liter V8 under the hood is legendary. Maintain it, and it just keeps running. It's common to see these early Sequoias cruise past 300,000 miles without major engine work. What impresses Scotty is how unfazed they are by real-world use. Families tow boats, contractors load them down with tools, and people still trust them for cross-country road trips 20 years later. They're not glamorous, but they're unbelievably stable and predictable. Exactly what you want in an aging full-size SUV. Compared to American competitors from the same era, the Sequoia usually wins the long-term game. Fewer electrical gremlins, fewer transmission failures, and a frame that resists rust better if you give it basic care in salty climates. Interiors hold up too. The seats, plastics, and switches survive kids, dogs, and constant use better than you'd expect. Because they aren't as iconic as the Land Cruiser, prices are still reasonable. You're basically getting a big Toyota DNA at a discount, which is why Scotty actually tells people a clean first-gen Sequoia is one of the safest full-size SUV bets left. Number 2. Toyota 4Runner, 2003 to 2020. Ask Scotty for a body-on-frame SUV that still feels like an honest truck, and the 4Runner comes up almost every time. From the early 2000s through the current generation, Toyota barely changed the formula. And that's exactly what he likes about it. Naturally aspirated V6, stout transmission, proper frame, and a four-wheel drive system that doesn't rely on delicate electronics to get you through mud or snow. He loves to point out that in a world of crossovers pretending to be SUVs, the 4Runner is still the real deal. Owners routinely report 300,000 miles and beyond with nothing more than routine maintenance and the occasional exhaust or suspension refresh. It's not the most fuel-efficient choice, but it's one of the most durable. The 4Runner also avoids the high failure features that sink many modern SUVs. No air suspension to explode, no tiny turbo working at 110% every day, and far fewer glitch-prone driver assist systems. The interior is basic but tough. Buttons and switches outlast most of the competition. Scotty respects it because Toyota resisted the urge to modernize it into something fragile. They stuck with hardware that works. If you want an SUV you can keep for 15 or 20 years, and maybe hand down to your kids, the 4Runner is exactly the kind of old-school truck Scotty still tells people to buy. Number 1. Toyota Land Cruiser 100 and 200 Series. When it comes to SUVs that simply refuse to die, Scotty puts the Land Cruiser in a class of its own. He's called it the toughest production vehicle you can buy, and the 100 and 200 series are the generations that cemented that reputation around the world. These trucks were engineered for places where roads barely exist. Deserts, outback tracks, war zones. Driving one in normal suburban traffic is almost an insult to what they're capable of. The engines are a huge part of the story. The 100 series uses the legendary 4.7-liter V8, shared with trucks that routinely see 500,000 miles. The 200 series steps up to the 5.7-liter V8, more power, same overbuilt design. Scotty loves these motors because they're understressed and naturally aspirated. No complicated turbo plumbing, no gimmicky hybrid stacks, just big, slow-moving parts that last. Owners all over the world report 400,000 to 500,000 miles with surprisingly few major repairs. Suspension components, drivetrains, and even interior hardware stand up to punishment that would destroy most modern SUVs. That's what Scotty respects. Toyota built these with durability first and convenience second, the opposite of how most manufacturers operate now. The downside is price. Clean Land Cruisers aren't cheap and they don't depreciate much. But that's the point. You're buying a vehicle that outlasts almost everything else on the road. If you want the closest thing to a bulletproof SUV ever built, this is the one Scotty actually calls worth the money. The only new SUVs Scotty still recommends in 2025. Scotty almost never tells people to buy brand new SUVs anymore. Too much tech, too many turbos, and too many systems designed to fail right after the warranty expires. But he does make a few rare exceptions. Models that still use older, proven hardware underneath the new sheet metal. One of them is the Mazda CX-5 with the naturally aspirated engine. No CVT, no tiny turbo, just a straightforward drivetrain and a solid build quality. Scotty likes it because it feels like a modern version of an old-school SUV. Tight, reliable, and not overloaded with gimmicks. Another is the Toyota 4Runner. Yes, the same truck we just talked about used. Toyota's kept the current generation on sale for years with minimal changes. From Scotty's point of view, that's a good thing. It means you can still walk into a dealership and buy a brand new body-on-frame SUV with a simple V6 and proven components. For drivers who want maximum efficiency without sacrificing longevity, he also points to Toyota's hybrid crossovers built on the same proven hybrid system as the Prius, like the RAV4 hybrid. The key is that Toyota has been refining that setup for decades. If you're absolutely set on buying new instead of used, these are the few SUVs Scotty still considers safe long-term bets, as long as you ignore the gadgets and focus on the drivetrain. So those are the SUVs Scotty Kilmer actually trusts to go the distance. If you're tired of rolling the dice on modern tech and surprise repair bills, any one of these can save you thousands over the next decade. Let me know in the comments which one you'd drive to 300,000 miles. And if you want more no-nonsense picks like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next list.